Good evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rebila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Proposed water resources bill plots to import terror miner Fulanese. Nigeria bound to face challenges. Citizens should remain strong. APC. Nigeria better under British colonialists than present colonial masters. Adeyanju. ASUU return to classroom. Buhari begs universities lecturers. Akwa Ibom government shuts market over traders clash. 4 get life imprisonment for kidnapping in Ondo. And to the next story from foreign. Washington DC declares October 4th Nigerian-American Day. And on sport, Everton legend Steven talks tough and up concerning Iwobi's performance at Goodison Park. And second sports story, Japan coach Futushi wary of dangerous Super Falcons. Now the news in detail. Some self-determination groups in the South and Middle Belt regions of Nigeria yesterday kicked against the proposed water resources bill, saying it is an alleged attempt to import terrorists into the South and Middle Belt regions. It also described a statement credited to the federal government through the Federal Commission at the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons, Ms. Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, that 500,000 Nigerians are awaiting the repatriation into Nigeria from Niger, Chad, and Cameroon as a grand plot to flood the entire South and Middle Belt of the country with Fulani terrorists from neighboring countries, with sole agenda of hijacking the land and assets of the indigenous people. In a statement by Freedom from Nigeria FFN, Ilana Omodua IOO, Igbo National Council INC, Middle Belt Patriotic Front MBPF, National Council of Women's Society NCWS, United Middle Belt UMB, among others, the groups allege that there is an attempt to give the land of the people of the South and Middle Belt to Fulani people through the back door. The self-determination group noted that policies such as RUGA, Water Resources Bill, Indigene Bill, Grazing Rules, earlier introduced by the federal government, were meant to give the now-to-be repatriated Fulani people from Niger, Chad, and Cameroon a legal cover to penetrate the South and the Middle Belt to push the land-grabbing agenda of the Fulani nation. Moving to the next story. Amid the insecurity ravaging Nigeria's societies and economic woes, the All Progressive Congress APC has asked citizens to remain hopeful and strong, stating that the challenges were bound to occur. This is contained in a statement by the chairman, Plateau Chapter, Rufus Bature, and signed by Silvanus Namang, the APC spokesperson in the states. No doubt, as it is the case with all emerging democracies, there are bound to be challenges just we are presently facing, Mr. Bature said in a statement commemorating Nigeria's independence. He added Nigerians must remain strong, resolute and hopeful instead of allowing the situation to overwhelm us. The APC chairman stressed that the 62nd anniversary of Nigeria's independence is a period for sober reflection of the country's journey to nationhood and nationhood. The chairman stated that the Nigeria project is a work in progress and all have a role in taking the nation to its desired destination. Also speaking on the 2023 general elections, Mr. Bature cautioned Nigerians against the divisive and divisionary antics inhibiting the country's healthy growth. And to the next story from the world news, socio-political activist Deji Adeyanju has said Nigeria was doing much better under foreign colonial masters than the new colonial and political masters who are only interested in looting every sector of country's economy. Adeyanju, in a tear statement on Saturday to mark Nigeria's 62nd Independence Day celebration, said the country had nothing to celebrate after 62 years of independence. Adeyanju, who anchored his claims on Nigeria's economic imbalance since independence, also lamented the depreciating value of the current country. He insisted that Nigeria did better under the colonial masters than what is obtainable now. He said at 62 years, the Naira note, which is our legal tender, is one of the most worthless in the world. $1 is 740, while the Ghanaian currency is 10 cedi to the 10 US dollar. There is absolutely nothing to celebrate here because the country is not working. Sadly, the country was doing much better under foreign colonial masters. The new colonial masters of Nigeria, the political class, are only interested in looting and destroying the educational health, and other sectors while sending their kids abroad to school and go to the best hospitals abroad. Moving to the next story, President Muhammadu Buhari has reiterated his call for the striking members of the Academic Staff Union of Universities to return to the classroom. The president made the call during his address to the nation to mark the 62nd Independence Day anniversary on Saturday. He promised that his administration will continue to address the demands of the lecturers within the limits of the scarce resources. He said, "I'm using this Independence Day celebration to reiterate my call for the striking Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASUU, to return to the classroom while assuring them to deal with their contending issues within the limits of the scarce resources available. This administration has made appreciable progress in redressing these issues that have been lingering for over 11 years. The federal government will continue to mobilize resources both internationally and nationally towards funding education to ensure that our citizens are well educated and secured in various vocations in view of the fact that education is a leading determinant of economic growth."
Has made to end the strike to no avail.
And through negotiation, what we call collective bargaining agreements, you will arrive on what is good to be paid to you, subject to the president's approval.
He accuses the ASUU president of inciting Nigerians against the ruling party, and the Labour leader fires back.
This is not the inform the public. Honorable Minister, inform the public. Before I tell that to the public, you will have an...
Government insists it does not have the financial capability to host two payment platforms as the legislators appeal to ASUU to see reason. But ASUU refuses to budge. It describes the suggestion by the legislators as alien to the law governing the university system.
Are we really patriotic as a country? We people are patriotic. You have two options. Option A is developed by your people free for you and your people. Option 2, you are paying billions of naira every year for option 2 to a foreign company.
Will it be right to say that the issues that have been identified that have defied solution will be the UTAS problem and the salary to pay?
The Speaker finally gives a summary of the position of the House.
All litigation must come to an end. Let this be the time. I said this may be the last meeting, because all the issues, as far as we are concerned, we will make our recommendations, we will go and meet Mr. President and interface on your behalf.
The Uyo local government area of Akwa Ibom State has ordered the closure of the vehicle spare part market popularly called Mechanic Village, Afar Offered community over a clash between the Igbos and the local traders. This was contained in a statement by the Council Secretary Ubong Udofia, titled Uyo Local Government Short Mechanic Village of Crisis made available to newsmen in Uyo on Friday. The statement read in part following the crisis that ensued today, Friday, that was yesterday, 30th September 2022, at the Mechanic Village Afar Ufot in Uyo Local Government area. The management of Uyo Local Government Council has ordered the closure of the facility indefinitely. This decision of council is to forestall further breakdown of law and order within the area. The council chairman, Dr. Dimo Udo, has directed security officials to continue to maintain adequate security around the facility and the entire area until investigations are completed and normalcy returns. An auto mechanic at the market, Wisdom Effiong, told correspondent that trouble started when an indigent arrived, opened his shop and swept the environment before arranging his wares. Moving on to the next story. An Akwa High Court has sentenced 4 persons to life imprisonment for kidnapping a traditional ruler in 2015 and demanding what sum of 100 million naira. The 4 convicts are Lucky Smart, Abraham Mike, John Felix, and Rosun Anufa Amri. Mr. David Ikben, who was arraigned with the convicts, was however discharged and acquitted for words of evidence. Presiding Joe Justice Adiremi Adigorue held that Ikben, being a driver to the late leader of the Kidnapping gang, could not be held liable for an offense of his late boss. The convicts were arraigned for conspiracy and kidnapping of the regent of Akumba Akoko along the Oseowo Highway and Abdul Aliyu on June 2nd, 2015, and demanded payment of 100 million naira. They were also said to have kidnapped one Ijeoma Susan Azubike on May 31st and demanded the money of 10 million naira. Justice Adegoroye said the prosecution, led by Barrister John Olowo-Okere, proved their case beyond reasonable doubt. He found 4 of the defendants guilty and sentenced them to life imprisonment on count 2, 3, and 4, bordering on kidnapping, and sentenced them to 5 years imprisonment with ad labor on count 1, bordering on conspiracy to commit felony. From the last story, we'll go to the foreign story. The city of Washington, D.C., United States, has proclaimed October 1st as Nigerian-American Day. The proclamation was made in a statement by the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser. The declaration, according to the mayor, is in consonance with the celebration of Nigeria's 62nd Independence Day anniversary. Bowser noted that Washington, D.C. had one of the largest immigrant populations from Nigeria in America. The mayor hailed the contributions of Nigerian Americans, some of whom are civic leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. Bowser said Nigerian music and art, particularly Afrobeats and Nollywood, enrich the cultural economy and strengthen cultural ties. The Nigerian Center provides a platform for heritage preservation and expand the pathways for Nigerian immigrants to become Nigerian Americans. And to the sports story. Everton legend Trevor Steven has lauded Alex Iwobi for turning his career around at the club, reports CompanySport.com. Iwobi initially struggled to make impact at the club following his arrival from Arsenal to Everton in 2019. The Nigerian international is now enjoying a new lease of management under manager Frank Lampard. A great working environment changes people's performance, and I would highlight someone on this, Alex Iwobi. He had to struggle to find his game because we had an unstable environment and a disconnect, Steven told Liverpool Echo. Now we've got a targetedness and the lad looks like a different player. It's been a shining example of someone who could see that if he got it right here, this is some place to be. Moving on to the next sports story as regards Super Falcons of Nigeria friendly. Nadeshiko of Japan head coach Ikeda Futoshi has admitted that his players must be at their best to overcome Nigeria in their upcoming friendly. The Nigerian and Super Falcons will clash next week Thursday at the Nova Stadium, Kobe. It will be the first time Futoshi will lead his side in the game in Japan. They showed great speed and strength even at the under-20 level. We must be careful of their unique speed and tempo and try to pass the ball around their strong defense to create chances, he told the country's official website. We want to play to our strength while taking into account the strength of our opponent. The two teams have met thrice in the past, with Japan winning 2 and losing 1. That concludes the world news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. Proposed water resources bill, plot to import terror-minded Fulanese. Nigeria bound to face challenges, citizens should remain strong, APC. We also brought to you, Nigeria better under British colonists than present colonial masters. And finally, on sports, Japan coach Futoshi wary of dangerous Super Falcons on the friendly coming up soon. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Baba Bagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placements only. Thank you for watching. I am Moribe Rebila Lawa. Good evening.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just tune to BGI TV. BGI TV, you're one in a million.